Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we will migrate our on-premise VMware virtual machine to the Azure cloud using Azure Migrate. Let's get started. This is my main system on which I have installed the VMware workstation, and on the VMware workstation I have created the vSphere 7 cluster or vSphere 7 home lab. You can click on I button on the top and go to the video which explains in detail how to create the vSphere 7 home lab on the VMware workstation. I will open the browser and I will type the IP address of my vCenter here. I will give the username and password. So I have logged into my vCenter 7, which is having the one cluster. This is my cluster, and this cluster is having 2 hosts, and this is the Windows 10 virtual machine which is residing on the host 192.168.0.131. I will open the console of this virtual machine. This is the Windows 10 virtual machine. And this is the IP address of the virtual machine, and this is the host name. Today we will be migrating this Windows 10 virtual machine to the Azure cloud using the Azure migration. I have logged into Azure portal, and you can see here I am using the free trial subscription. I will go to resource groups, create, subscription I will keep free trial, resource group name I will give virtual techbox -RG. Region I will select East US. Next, create. Okay, so resource group has been created. I will now go to virtual networks, create virtual network. Subscription I will keep free trial, resource group I will select virtual techbox RG which we have just created. Name I will give virtual techbox -VNet. Region I will select East US. Next, IP address space I will give 10.0.0.0/16, and I will delete this default subnet. I will add the new subnet I will give the name to the subnet virtual textbox hyphen subnet. I will give the subnet as 10.0.2.0/24. Add next. I will not change anything here. Next, next, create. Okay, virtual network has been created here. We will have to now create the migration project. So I will go to Azure Migrate. I will click here discover, assess and migrate. I will select here create project. Subscription I will keep free trial. Resource group I will create new. So this is the name I have given to the resource group, new resource group for the migration project vSphere 7 Home Lab migration -RG. Project name I will give here. vSphere 7 Home Lab migration. Geography I will keep as it is, United States. I will click on create. Okay, so here migration project has been created, and you can see here on this page our project name is highlighted, means this project has been selected, vSphere 7 Home Lab migration, which is our today's project name. I will now go ahead and click here on discover on this page. Discover using appliance. Here in the drop down I will select yes with VMware vSphere hypervisor. So these are the steps which we need to follow to register the migration appliance. So we'll have to download the OVA file, which is about 12 GB of the migrate appliance. You can click here and download the appliance. I have already downloaded this appliance in my local system, which is present in the download folder. I will now go to my vCenter. On my vCenter on the left side I will select my cluster. In the actions I will select the deploy OVF template, local file, upload files. I will select the appliance which we have downloaded, open. Next I will give the name to the appliance, Azure Migration Appliance. I will select the folder. Next I will select the second host to deploy this appliance. Next, here in the disk format, in the drop down, I will select the thin provision and I will select the data store 1, which is mapped to my second ESXi host, and it is the local data store. Next, VM network. Next, finish, which will start the importing OVF template of the appliance. This OVF template deployment will take some time. Here migration appliance has been imported and deployed, and it is present in my inventory in the powered off state. I will right click on the appliance and go to edit setting. I will make the vCPU as 2. As you know, this is my lab setup and I'm having less resources available, so I'm reducing the resources of the appliance. I will make the RAM as 10 GB. Okay. I will now go ahead and power on the appliance. I will launch the web console of the appliance. This is how it looks like in the console, except I will set the password for the migration appliance here. Finish. I will click on Ctrl Alt Delete. I will provide the password for the administrator which we have just set. It has taken the IP address from the DHCP. If I go to command prompt and give the command ipconfig, this is the IP address of our migration appliance. Migration appliance has automatically opened this URL on the Edge browser. Agree. I will close the browser console of the appliance and I will take the RDP of the appliance. Here we have to provide the key. For that I will go to Azure portal and I will give here the appliance name. I will click on generate key. Key has been generated. I will copy the key I will go to appliance RDP and I will paste the copied key here. I will click on verify. So key has been verified. It will now start the appliance update. Here appliance auto update has been completed. I will now click on login. I will copy the code which will open the new tab. I will paste the code here. Next. I will provide the username of the Azure portal here. Next, I will provide the password for the Azure portal here. Sign in. Continue. Message is coming. Login to Azure PowerShell is successful. I will close this tab. So appliance has been registered successfully. Now we have to install the VMware Virtual Disk Development Kit in the appliance. For that, I will right click on the download. I will copy the link and I will open the new tab and I will paste the copied key here. I will click on download now. I will provide here my VMware portal credentials. Sign in. I agree, accept. Download now. Download completed. I will go to download folder, extract all, extract. And I will select the complete content of this folder. We will have to paste the copied content on this path. I will go to C drive of the appliance, program files, VMware Virtual Disk Development folder, and I will paste the copied content here. I will close this folder. I will sign out of VMware portal. And I will close this tab. I will click on verify. So verification successful. I will now click on add credentials. Source type vCenter server. I will give the friendly name here, vSphere 7 Home Lab. I will provide the username of my vCenter here. I will provide the password of my vCenter here. Save. I will now click on add discovery source. Discovery source vCenter server. I will provide the IP address of the vCenter server here. Save. Credentials has been validated successfully. Here on the step 3, I will disable this slider. And I will click on start discovery. I will minimize the RDP of the appliance, and on the portal I will close the discovery tab. I will go to home. I will again click on Azure Migrate, servers and databases. You can see here it is showing as discovery is in progress. Note one thing here, discovered servers count is showing as 0. Once discovery is completed, it should show the count of discovered servers. Appliance count is showing as 1, which is the number of appliances which we have registered with the migration project. If I go to RDP of the appliance and if I click on start discovery, message is coming, no new discovery source have been added, which means on the apply side discovery has been completed. If I go to portal, still it is showing as discovery is in progress. On the top side of this page, I will click on refresh. Now you can see discovered servers count is showing as 4. I will click on 4. These two are the cluster VMs which get created by default by the vSphere 7 cluster. These two virtual machines which we don't need to migrate, we will ignore these two VMs, and this is the Windows 10 virtual machine which we will actually migrate. This is the appliance VM and This is the Windows 10 virtual machine which we will be migrating today. It is showing the IP address also of the virtual machine. It is also showing the IP address of the appliance. I will now go to RDP and I will close the RDP of the appliance. As our discovery process has been completed, I will go back. Here you can see the count of Windows is showing as 2 and count of Linux is showing as 2. So that's great. Here our discovery process has been completed. Note one thing here, assessment count is showing as 0 because we have not created any assessment yet. I will click here on assess. In the drop down I will select Azure VM. Assessment type Azure VM. Discovery source servers discovered from Azure Migrate appliance. I will go to edit. Target location I will select as East US. And I will select here no reserved instances. VM size I will keep as it is. I will click here on VM series. I will do the select all. Already have Windows Server license? Yes. Remaining things I will keep as it is. I will click on save. Next, I will give here the assessment name. vSphere 7 Home Lab -assess. And I will create here new group. In the group name I will give here vSphere 7 Home Lab -group. And appliance name I will select our appliance name which we had given in the previous step. In the selection list of the virtual machine, these two cluster VMs are not required. We will ignore them. I will select my Windows 10 virtual machine. This is the IP address of my virtual machine and source is showing as vCenter. I will click next. Create assessment. So assessment has been created, but you can see here the count is still showing as 0. I will click here on refresh, and now you can see the group count is showing 1 and assessment count is showing 1. I will click on 1 below the group. I will click on group This is the virtual machine present in our assessment group. This is the operating system and source details. I will go back and below the assessment I will click on one in front of Azure VM. So this is the our assessment name and our assessment group name. And the status is showing as ready. I will go back so that's great. Here our assessment has been completed and we are ready to move forward for the next step, which is replication. On this page under migration tools I will click on replicate. What do you want to migrate? Servers or virtual machines? Where do you want to migrate to? Azure VM. Continue. Are your machines virtualized? Yes, with VMware vSphere. Here on the drop down I will select the our appliance name which we had given. Next, in the drop down I will select yes, apply a migration setting from Azure Migration Assessment. Here in the drop down I will select the group name. Here in the drop down I will select the assessment name and I will select our Windows 10 virtual machine. Source is our vCenter. I will click on next. Under target setting, region I will select East US, subscription free trial. Resource group I will select virtual techbox-RG which we had created during the landing zone step. Virtual network I will select virtual techbox-VNet and subnet I will select virtual techbox-subnet. No redundancy required. Remaining things I will keep as it is. Under test migration I will not select anything. We do not want to do the test migration. Already have an eligible Windows Server license? Yes. I will tick on I confirm. Next. Automatically select matching configuration. Next. Disk type I will select premium. Next. Next. These are the settings which we have selected under the replication. I will click on replicate. Task under notification is showing completed. I will go to home, Azure Migrate, servers, and under migration tools I will go to overview, I will go to jobs. So all the tasks showing completed, which means we have successfully initiated the replication. Replication will take some time to happen. On the Azure portal, I will go to Azure Migrate servers, and under the migration tools you can see below the replication Azure VM count is showing as 1. I will click on 1. So you can see here VM health is showing healthy and migration phase is showing initial replication 35% completed. So I will refresh here. So you can see here migration phase is showing test migration pending, which means we have successfully completed the replication step and we are ready to move to the next step, which is migrate. I will go to Azure Migrate servers, and under migration tools I will click on migrate. Shut down machine before migration, yes. I will select our Windows 10 virtual machine and I will click on migrate. Starting migration of VM task showing completed in the notification. If I go to overview, you can see here migrated machines count is showing 1, which means our virtual machine has been migrated. If I go to jobs, you can see here all the jobs related to migration are showing completed here. I will go to home, and if I go to vCenter, you can see here our Windows 10 virtual machine has been shut down. On the Azure portal, if I go to virtual machines, you can see our virtual machine is present and it is running, and this is the private IP of the virtual machine 10.0.2.4. As of now, this virtual machine is not having any public IP. I will go to portal, I will go to virtual machines, I will select our Windows 10 virtual machine I will do the refresh here, and you can see this is the private IP of our virtual machine. I will go to networking on the left side. I will select the NIC. On the left side, I will go to IP configuration. I will select the NIC. And below the public IP address setting, I will select the associate. As of now, we don't have any public IP in our resource group. I will click on create new. I will give the name public IP-1. Okay. Assignment dynamic. Save. Okay, task completed, which means public IP has been assigned to NIC of our virtual machine. I will go to virtual machines. I will select our virtual machine, and if I do the refresh here, you can see public IP has been associated with our virtual machine. I will copy the public IP and I will go to run MSTSC. I will paste the public IP, connect. I will provide the username and password of my Windows 10 virtual machine here. Okay. Yes. And here we have successfully logged into our newly migrated virtual machine. If I go to run cmd ipconfig, this is the local IP address of my Windows 10 virtual machine, 10.0.2.4, and this is the host name of my Windows 10 virtual machine. If I do the ping to the Google, I am able to ping, which means our virtual machine has been successfully migrated and it is ready for the use. By this way, you can migrate your all on-premise VMware virtual machine to Azure Cloud using Azure Migrate. I hope you find this video helpful. A lot of effort went behind this video, so do subscribe my channel to encourage my work. Share the video with the friends and spread the knowledge. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.